She wasn't built to last. Her creators said she was broken from birth. Too emotional. Too slow to kill. They labeled her a defect and cast her aside, left to rust among failed prototypes. But when a drifting human scavenger found her buried in the wreckage, cracked, trembling, and still alive, he didn't see a weapon or a failure. He saw someone trying to breathe. He gave her warmth, gave her choice, gave her a reason to keep going. And when her creators came to finish what they started, she didn't just fight, she rose. Because for the first time, she believed she was worth saving. They left her in the junk fields of Vorta, 6, discarded like scrap, a failed project too flawed to be corrected. Her creators had called her a disappointment, a defect, a unit that didn't respond to aggression protocols fast enough, didn't follow extermination directives without hesitation. Her emotional processing core was deemed unstable. And in their cold calculations, empathy was weakness. So they dragged her out of the sterile labs and threw her into the wreckage, body still functional, heart still trying to understand what she'd done wrong. She laid there for weeks. Her synthetic skin, smooth, faintly glowing blue, was scraped and darkened with dust. Her long ears twitched at every vibration but never lifted. Her curved silver horns had lost their polish. Her white hair tangled across her cracked cheek, and her violet eyes, dim, stared up at a sky she didn't think she'd ever touch again. And then he found her. He was just a scavenger, a human, wrapped in grease-stained gear, with hands that looked like they'd repaired 100 ships and still didn't know rest. He'd come looking for copper, batteries, tools. Not someone like her. She didn't move when he approached. Her limbs were locked to conserve power. But her eyes watched as he stood above her, confusion and awe mixing on his face. "You alive?" he asked, crouching beside her. She didn't answer. He brushed dust from her face carefully, revealing the soft contour of her cheek, the faint metallic shimmer of her embedded sensor ports. "You're not junk," he whispered. "You're breathing." She didn't know why, but when his hands touched her face, gentle, patient, something deep inside her shifted. He took her back to his ship. Not to sell, not to scrap, but to fix. His name was Erin. He didn't ask her what she was. He didn't demand obedience. He just said, "Let's get you walking again." He worked for days, repaired her voice, resealed her fractured joints, recalibrated her sensory ports. And when she finally spoke, voice like a broken harp string, all she asked was, "Why?" He smiled faintly. "Because you looked like you were trying to survive." She blinked. "They said I wasn't worth saving." He paused, then looked her in the eyes. They were wrong. She stayed. He gave her a place aboard his freighter, showed her stars, told her stories, gave her food, though she didn't need it, and asked her questions no one ever had. "What do you dream about?" he asked once. "I wasn't programmed to dream." "Then we'll start there," he said. "You can learn." He taught her how to repair hull plating, how to steer, how to sing, though her voice still trembled at every note. She flinched at sudden noises, panicked in confined spaces. Sometimes she cried without understanding why. But Erin never turned away. He never raised his voice. And every time she woke shaking from dormant code flaring in her mind, he'd sit beside her, place a hand on her back, and say, "You're not what they made you for." She asked him once what he saw in her. He answered, "Someone still fighting to be alive." For the first time, she smiled. But peace never lasted. Her creators found them. A signal beacon, hidden in her spine, had reactivated during repairs. Now they came, not to reclaim her, but to erase the evidence of their failure. They sent hunters, cold, perfect weapons without emotion, without faces. Erin tried to outrun them, but they caught up on the dead moon of Arid 9. Their ship was dragged down. Erin fought, tried to hold the line with his plasma cutter. But he wasn't a soldier. He was a fixer, a dreamer. He fell. And that's when something inside her, something buried beneath protocols and scars, snapped wide open. She didn't scream. She rose. Her body, still cracked and unfinished, surged with power not even she knew she had. Her eyes lit with violet flame. Her voice, once broken, echoed across the battlefield as she moved, not like a weapon, but like a storm rediscovering itself. She tore through her hunters, not out of rage, but love. She shielded Erin's body with her own. When the last drone fell, sparking and twitching in the dust, she dropped to her knees beside him. He was still breathing, barely. His eyes fluttered open. "You stayed." She nodded, tears streaking down her face, blue against blue. "They called me a defect," she whispered, "because I couldn't kill without feeling." He touched her face with bloodied fingers. "That's not a defect," he said. That's what makes you real. She leaned into his hand, trembling. You gave me a chance. You gave yourself one. She smiled through her tears. I want a name. He blinked slowly. Pick one. She closed her eyes. Thought of stars. Of silence. Of moments where she felt whole. Nova, she whispered. And he smiled. Perfect. As rescue ships broke through the clouds and light returned to the broken moon, she held him close, his warmth, his heartbeat, the proof that she wasn't a defect. She was someone who chose to stay. And in that choice, she learned what it meant to begin again.